Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. You absolutely don't want to miss out on the exciting story that's about to unfold. Facing a survival challenge, he pondered long and decided to quit selling drinks for a job. Bowen's new role was a newspaper printer. The manager told Bowen to sell newspapers or pay out of pocket. Ruthless business game. Bowen couldn't sell in others' territories or face permanent exile. Thus, he became a proud newspaper seller. With Bobo's charm, Bowen became a hit. Everyone rushed to take pictures with Bobo, and of course, they didn't forget to buy a paper as a souvenir. Today, while selling newspapers, Bowen was in a state of shock as the news about his team was in the paper. It was like a concert on the street. Out of nowhere, a crow shows up on Bowen's face. Talk about a wild streak of luck. Bowen was totally confused. Why did the crow choose him? Just then, a reporter popped up out of nowhere, saying he wanted to cover the amazing story of Bowen and Bobo. Bowen agreed to the interview and even posed like a model. Though the newspaper selling life was somewhat cozy, the competition out there was fierce. His income slowly dwindled, and finally he caught a break when someone wanted to take a picture with Bobo and hoped to buy a paper. Bowen knew the corporate rules well, but these two said they wanted to help him, handing over cash for a newspaper just like that. It was a wave of... He went straight to the manager, explaining he wasn't stealing customers. The manager understood but banned him from selling for a month. Breaking rules means facing consequences. After telling Betty, Bowen had to admit she was right. This life was a total mess. But what could he do? Daily he fed Bobo, hope dwindled. Eventually, he took Bobo to a shelter. Under life's pressure, Bowen's wallet tightened, forcing him to sing on the street again. But due to the ban, he had to relocate. Life was super unstable, and Bowen tried to keep it from Betty, but she caught him performing on the street and hurriedly told him to come home. If police found Bowen performing on the street, he'd be in trouble. Who'd look after Bobo? But Bowen had solid reasons. What else could he do? If not, they'd all starve. They argued fiercely, and Betty spilled her true feelings. At last, the month was up. Bowen was back on the street selling papers, and his story with Bobo made the news, attracting a woman. She said she wanted to adopt this little cat because her son loved Bobo and was willing to pay Bowen a handsome amount, enough to keep him fed for a while. A dog was barking wildly. Bowen and the woman's argument scared Bobo, who leaped down and ran off, leaving Bowen behind. Bowen shouted Bobo's name on the street, but the little guy, who usually stuck to him like glue, had vanished without a trace. Just like that, Bowen lost Bobo. 2 days passed, and in a fit of emotion, he sought out Kid to express his longing for Bobo. If he had just put a collar on Bobo back then, he wouldn't have gotten lost. He'd looked worried too. Remember? The key to successfully kicking a habit is keeping your emotions stable, good or bad. Kid was really worried about Bowen losing. If that happened, his hard work would be wasted. After days, Bobo looked out, reminiscing their first meeting's joy. After a few twists and turns, he found himself facing a dealer. If Bowen couldn't resist buying drugs, that would be it. The dealer asked Bowen what he wanted, just hovering around like a vulture. Bowen's choice was like the light before dawn, filled with tension. If he gives in, it could be a total disaster. If he chooses to walk away, then he'd usher in a bright future. Taking a deep breath, he decided to resist the temptation. When he finally got home, the restaurant buzzed with activity. Everything seemed coincidental, yet somehow destined. Bowen's old partner returned to his life, promising a brighter tomorrow. Just like the dawn before dawn is the darkest hour, Bowen's desire for rebirth would also face the final. This meant detoxing. Even if Bowen was ready, Kid had to remind him of the pain of quitting. What about the mindset while driving? You can't stay stable, even lying down. Day by day fighting, every hour trying hard is non-stop. Bowen was confident. With Bobo by his side, kicking the habit was no longer a tall order. Such monumental news, of course he had to share it with Betty. Ever since the last fight, they hadn't spoken. Standing outside, Bowen updated her on his life and sincerely apologized, but Betty didn't seem to react. Bowen left feeling dejected, but suddenly, the door swung open. Betty invited him in. What a surprise. She told Bowen less exposure to outside world could tackle his drug problem. Thus, he decided to detox. Every time withdrawal kicked in, Bowen struggled. Initially, he played guitar and sang, but later, just lay in bed tossing. In the end, he didn't even want to get on the bed. He lay on the floor like a zombie. Luckily, he made it through the challenging days, and successfully he finally became a normal person. After apologizing to Dr. Val, he walked into Betty's room and found movers packing things. Turns out, Betty had finally moved on and was starting a new chapter in life. She even gifted Bowen a handmade dream catcher. She handed him a note with her new address, inviting him over any time. With Bobo in tow, he made his way to the literary agency. They wanted him to write an autobiography starring him. Bowen happily agreed, but one last thing remained. With Bobo by his side, Bowen knocked on his father's door, proudly stating he had successfully detoxed and that he was the lost soul he once was. He declared that he would no longer blame his father for abandoning him, because the old version of himself was truly beyond saving. He said, "I didn't refuse you, it was just that I, at that time, was truly unworthy." When Bobo was 11, his parents divorced. Bowen went to America with his mother, while his father stayed in England, fearing flying. In reality, he didn't know how to face Bowen post-divorce. The parental split led naive Bowen to drugs, which he's finally quit. The pain in Bowen's heart finally found its explanation, and his efforts finally led to change.